So I will be making an introduction and we'll be going live in a few minutes, right?
Yep.
And you will have about 12 to 13 minutes to speak and then wrap up because this total session time is about 15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
I think we can go live. Yeah. Hi, Shilpa. Wonderful to have you on this session of the Women Economic Forum 2021. And you're going to be speaking on entrepreneurs sharing success stories. So we are honored to welcome you, Shilpa Kulshrestha, Game Changer Coach, Scintillate, Australia. And we take this opportunity and we are honored to present the award of Exceptional Leader of Excellence. So over to you, Shilpa, to hear about entrepreneurs sharing success stories.
Thank you, Rajshri, and thank you, Women Economic Forum, for such a wonderful opportunity. Now, I would start with my introduction as Game Changer Coach, and I'll tell you why I love this term, because this Game Changer Coach, it enables me to change the game of people in a very short span of time. It's like magic, and it's like every person is a challenge for me. Today, I work with people across 14 countries, helping them step into their next big thing in their career. So before I get into what I do currently, let me take you back to 2018. So in fact, I'll take you much more back. So 20 years back, I'd started my career as a school topper, a national level ranker, as a gold medalist. So with this huge fire in the belly, everything, I thought I had everything which can cut me out for success, everything where I can make a difference to this world. Just like all other 19-year-olds think, I was on the same journey. And it started off pretty well. It was a startup, my first job. And I soon came to be known as someone with a Midas touch. Anything that I touched, it seemed that it glittered. Any client, any project, any delivery, and I was basking in the glory of it all. It continued, the journey continued. And with women, how it happens, a lot of other things keep cropping up in life. You get married, you get pregnant, and then you have kids, and then you move places, cities to start with, then states, then countries. And I don't know, Rajshri, where it happened. I started giving my bare minimum. And when I started giving my bare minimum, that was because of the fact that in my mind, I started considering my family as my topmost priority. And that was great. But in that process, I kept my career in the backseat. And this flip happened. And I didn't realize that in all that process, I started attracting this monster of love, work-life balance. And I really call it a monster because it looked really attractive. And I thought it was my birthright. Everybody in the corporate workplaces, they all wanted work-life balance. And, I wanted too. And I kept feeding it. The more I fed it, the more it hovered around me. And I didn't realize that over a period of 16 years, what I fed it was my own excellence. And I would have never realized it until 2018, September. My position after a wonderful tenure, or so I thought, a very successful tenure with some of the best brands, Deloitte, Tech Mahindra, Westpac, which is one of the top 4 banks here in Australia, it just came to a halt. My position was made redundant. And at that point, it was such a wake-up call for me, because all these years I'd stayed in that illusion that, I was outstanding. I felt that I was doing great, but I didn't realize there was no way for me to judge. I did feel at times that, I'm not doing anything great. Where do I stand out? I had those 4 a.m. thoughts, but I just kept shoving them away. And at that point, when my position was made redundant, I said, something had gone terribly wrong. Where did I miss it? Where did that school topper and national level ranker, all those wonderful things that I did in the beginning of my career, where did it all vanish? And where did that fire go? So I packed my bags and I said, let me figure out, where am I going? Even after 16 years, I had no idea about my final destination. It was projects after projects, delivery after delivery, company after company. It was happening. It was just all full on. So I packed my bags and I started traveling around the world. I started learning from the best coaches and the strategy gurus, started spending time with them, spending time with the people who were on this personal development journey. And I went on this massive self-discovery path. I really wanted to know, what is it that I'm cut out for? If this is not my thing, and by the time I'd realized this is not what I wanted to do, but then what? I had no idea. And finding that, I don't know if any of our audience has experienced it, but at that point, I was there, all committed towards a successful future, but not knowing what is it that I should do. So when I went on this discovery journey, I started finding answers to some of the questions that I had started asking me. And I realized that in all these 16 years, what I really loved was not the systems, not the processes, not that IT. What I really loved was enabling people. People will come, and this was not only in my job, but even when I was a student, even when I was in school, in uni, I loved enabling people. And somewhere there was no competition. I really loved it when people became successful, and more so if I was part of their journey. So I pulled out that element. And I'm bringing this point because a lot of us feel, what is it that I'm good at? And I had the same question. So I pulled out that element, which I really loved, which was just a small part of my journey. And I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do, because I love that. And then what I did was I got 2 pro bonos, one friend and one relative. And I said, okay, I'm starting on this journey and I'm here to create a massive difference. I know I shouldn't be getting paid for it, but are you happy to be my pro bonos? And for the relative, it was a bit of a personal story, but she ended up publishing her first book on Amazon in just a matter of few weeks. And for the second one, she was on a personal improvement plan. She was put on a performance improvement plan by her company. And in just a matter of 6 weeks, she got to a position where she got 160% bonus. And this was like, to me, I was like, did I get lucky? Maybe not. This is what I really loved. These 6 weeks with these 2 women, I really loved it. And then I started doing more of it. And as I worked, I developed a methodology, I developed a framework, and with experience, you start dealing with more people. So from those people who are in mid-career to those people who are in mid-career from from mid to senior level and CXOs, I work today, helping them create the next big thing in their life, helping them pull themselves from mediocrity, something that I was myself stuck in and which I've managed to pull myself out. I do it for the people because now I can notice more of it. And I feel that each of us is destined for bigger heights. And if we can, why not? And I'm amazed by how each one of them creates outstanding results. So this is what I did. Now, when people listen to my story, they say, amazing, you did awesome, and you are doing great, and this and that. But I tell you, other people's life are like flashcards. They show you one flashcard, other flashcard, and then another, and you see that, and you form the picture. You create that picture in your mind that this is what has happened. But the reality is very different. So I want to spend a few minutes taking you behind the reality, what happened behind the scenes, and my learnings from that. So first of all, when I started in 2018, I knew I wasn't the person who is capable enough of, making a difference, who's capable enough of doing that I had really set myself out for. A lot of times we see a dream, and a dream is very big. If it is not big, it is not a dream. So if the dream is very big, and if you feel the position in which you are, you can achieve it, I would say 99% we are wrong. We need to work upon ourselves, no matter whether it is entrepreneurship, whether it is getting a CXO level, working, getting double promotion. And I've got clients who've got 3 promotions in a year. And it just amazes me because they work on becoming the person who is capable of achieving the dreams. So my first learning was seeing dreams itself is not enough. We need to really go through an identity shift where we can be the person who can actually go and touch those dreams, really meet them. The second one, when you step into entrepreneurship, I can tell you, no 2 days are the same. No 2 clients are the same. No 2 projects are the same. So what you need to do is keep going. You'll get anxious. You'll have days where you'll be worried about cash flows and all those things, and clients and the results and the business revenue and all those things. But you need to keep going. So the second lesson that I learned was give up. If you have to give up one thing in entrepreneurship, give up giving up. And this thing, I learned from Major DP Singh in the beginning of my career, the Blade Runner of India, and I have just tied it and put it in my back pocket. So whenever the going gets tough, I know I shouldn't give up. So if you can take that as a learning. And the third and the last one, when I started my journey, at that point, my husband has also jumped into entrepreneurship a few months back. And it was like we were eating into our savings. Things were not going good. It was all by word of mouth, and word of mouth is really very slow. So what started happening was finances started getting tighter and tighter. And there was a point where we were left with just $563 in the bank, having 2 dependent daughters, one in year 12, both of us out of job. The easiest option was for at least one of us to go back to job because we both were at a fairly decent position earlier. But as I said, give up giving up. So what we did was just 3 things. And this I really want to point out for the people, because sometimes we keep going as it is and we don't do things differently. So 3 things that I did. 1, called up the bank and asked for hardship allowance. Hardship allowance is where they stopped our mortgage of $14,000 a month. So one big liability gone from our head for a few months. The second thing what I did was ask a friend for a loan. Now I can tell you it is very difficult if you're a giver to ask for something, but sometimes we have to step beyond our ego. And if our dreams are really important, we have to do things which we have never done before. And obviously we returned it, and really thankful that we have got friends who trust us, who have complete trust in our capability. But that's the second thing that we did. The third thing that we did was, one day when it became really tough and we were worried about paying the bills the next day, we stood in the middle of our living room and we drew a wall with our own hands. We didn't even have money to actually call somebody to build a wall. So we divided our living room into 2 parts, and we gave a portion, the one in which I'm sitting right now, we gave this portion on Airbnb, and this fed for our grocery bills. So even though we didn't have the resources, we built a system through our resourcefulness where we can be creative enough to generate those resources, stopping that big mortgage that was sitting on our head, park it on the side. That friend, the money that the money that was coming from Airbnb to pay for our monthly expenses, grocery, and then the friend taking that money so that we can invest in ourselves. So it brings us to the first point where we have to become the person who is capable of meeting those dreams. So even if you don't have money, it's not about the resources. Even if you do not have time, remember, it's not about the time. You have to bring in your resourcefulness. And in the very first year, we were able to generate $500,000 in our business. So I hope these learnings from my own entrepreneurship journey, it brings out some golden nuggets for the people, where I'm sure you'll be able to relate to one or the other glimpses of it, and it helps you in your entrepreneurship journey. Thank you so much.
Shilpa, very inspiring. First of all, let me say it's very inspiring.
Thank you.
From being an overachiever to actually accept mediocrity itself is very difficult, you know, and then to put yourself back up on the map is very hard. Believe me, I've had a journey very similar to yours, very different though. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, of course, entrepreneurship always pushes all realms in an individual. But what really will stick you out in the long run, you know, is never compromise your vision for money. Okay. First is that. The second is, you know, as you rightly said, you have to think out of the box on a daily basis. We have to create something new on a daily basis. I always use this mantra. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So if you don't do something differently today, you're going to keep getting the same results. So what you did with the Airbnb and the other moves that you made, I mean, I can empathize with the kind of financial stress sometimes entrepreneurs undergo just to fuel their dreams, you know. But kudos to you as well as your husband that you have brought it out and you have made yourself successful. So good luck to you. And I think we have to wind up now. So lovely to hear your story. And I hope you have inspired more entrepreneurs to take up entrepreneurship. So we would like to confer the Exceptional Leader of Excellence Award from the Women Economic Forum 2021 on you, Shilpa Kulshrestha.
Thank you. Thanks, Ashri. Thanks, Women Economic Forum.